Hello there, Alyshia here from SciTech, and welcome back to Toy Teardown. This is the video series where we take toys you know and love and we pull them apart. We try and use some science to explain how they work. We're here, as always, on beautiful Wajak Noongar land, and today we're going to be pulling apart a toy which is a whole lot of fun. It's the bubble gun. Thanks for that. At SciTech, we love bubbles. Bubble explosions, giant bubbles. We even set them on fire. You've definitely, probably, blown a bubble before. It's very satisfying, super easy peasy, but how does it translate to this toy? How does this toy create bubbles? Are you going to pull it apart? To find out. So the electronic bubble gun, as we know it, was designed by a guy called Robert DeMars, who made some very, very practical things like a cup with a removable handle or a self-cleaning rubbish bin. But he also came up with some really bizarre inventions, like a child's hat that looks like a doll and dangles down your face, as well as a pillow which, when you sleep on it, plays music, which to me is a little bit counterintuitive. But he made the bubble gun, and I think it's about time we had a look inside and checked out the design. So let's have a look at this a little bit closer. We've got our bubble mixture attached here, which just screws in, and then you've got this tube which goes down and somehow makes its way up, because as we press the trigger, it turns these bubble blower things. I don't know the word for that. Wands. They're called wands, yeah. This yellow bit. So it turns that with what looks like a fan, and as it does, there's a pad here which then starts to coat the bubble blowers there. And there's a reservoir underneath. And in that reservoir, the bubble mixture pools, so it can kind of constantly be dipping in and replenishing. So what happens is, if we have a look, there's a little reservoir of bubble mix down the bottom there. Pretty cool design. I wonder what it looks like inside. Just a heads up, we're going to be destroying this toy and pulling it apart. So if you decide to do the same thing, just make sure you've got an adult around and they know that you're doing it. All right, time to open this up. Let's see what's inside. All right, first thing I'm going to need, I think, is a screwdriver, as always. All right, so we've got our battery compartment in the top. I might take this out too. That looks like there's two shells to this, two halves of a shell. Right. Oh, there's more screws, okay. Nope. Bashing it always works. Hey! All right, so our battery goes here, and this reservoir's here, and then these go out to what looks like, oh, cool. Okay, so this is like a, that's the trigger mechanism that when we press, it just presses a button. That's kind of cool, that just comes straight off. This should just come straight off now, I think. Hey. So you can see the little reservoir there where everything sits in. So this is our motor. So it's got a fan at the top which turns around and pushes air forwards, and that way creating the bubbles. Let's open up that bit. It's surprising that all of the electronics in here don't just get so wet that they break immediately. It's quite well designed so that everything remains, all the liquids remain away from the electronics. Hey, kind of looks like a little submarine. So this is going to be a motor inside, and the fan turns, and maybe it turns this also. That'd be cool if it was the same motor. All right, let's open up this little submarine looking thing. What's gonna be inside? I think that's hot glued there as well. Whoa, all right. What's inside? Haha, we do have a motor. So this is really clever. We've got our motor here, which turns the fan, which also turns this spiral gear here, and then all of the other gears turn along with it, also rotating our bubble wand. As that happens, the fan is creating a change in air pressure, kind of like a straw, and that's what's creating the suction from the pump upwards. So actually what's happening is this single motor here is doing 3 different things, which is very awesome. It's very efficient actually for quite an inexpensive toy. But I think it's probably about time we have a look at exactly how a bubble is created to understand this a little bit further. So what even is a bubble? So bubbles trap air inside them because of their solution, as well as a little bit of physics. So bubble solution is a mixture of things. Something soapy and something sticky like glycerin. Now the glycerin, or similar, creates this wall inside the bubble wand. And that wall is created due to surface tension and as air is introduced. The wall pushes outwards and snaps back together in a perfect sphere. And surface tension is the same reason that I can hopefully put this piece of laminated card over the top of this glass of water. And if I turn it upside down, it's not going to spill because water molecules really like to stick together. However, if I do tip it a little bit too much this way, the surface tension breaks. Kind of like when you push air through the bubble wand and create the bubble. Now, there's a really amazing YouTube video documentary about the science of bubbles, and it's absolutely fascinating. So please check it out. We'll chuck the link in the description. So now that we've had a look at a bit about the science of bubbles, let's have a look back at about the technology inside our bubble gun. So we have kind of like a pump suction system, as well as motors and gears and bubbles. So how are they used in the real world? A pump system, you probably find those in pool filters. You also see bubbles in fish tanks and things like that. There's plenty of real world applications for this. So now that we've pulled this apart into millions of pieces, I'm actually wondering if there's a way I can put it back together. But I don't really want to put it back together the way that it was originally built. I'm wondering if I can maybe take a little bit of inspiration from the real world as well as our mate Robert DeMars and see if I can build my own invention. I've got a bit of an idea. People at SciTech love a good prank, so I think that might be the direction I go in with this. So I think it's about time we actually put this back together. We're going to do it in a bit of a different way. So stick around. My grand idea was to make this bubble gun automated. So what we've done is we've actually included an ultrasonic sensor here so that when there's something nearby, it will set off the bubble gun like so. Pretty cool. I've also, place it that way for now. Sometimes the bubbles set it off, which is something I didn't quite think about. We've also replaced the actual button with a relay. So what a relay does is it allows you to close a circuit using code. So the button itself physically closes the circuit, but with a relay, that actually overtakes that. So instead, then I could plug it into a controller, a microcontroller. So I've used an Arduino in this case, and I've used the code to tell the relay to open or close when the ultrasonic sensor senses something within a distance. So that way, when you come close, it shoots nice bubbles at you. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Toy Teardown. That took a lot longer than I thought it would, actually. Tearing something down can be a little less time than trying to put something back together and changing it, but I had a ton of fun doing this. I hope you might be able to give that a go yourself. And remember, if you do have a toy and it's not working, maybe you can turn it into something different. So thank you so much. Remember to like, subscribe, check some comments in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time on Toy Teardown. Bye!